We're here this afternoon to look at division. We're going to start with whole numbers divided by whole numbers and move to our divisor being a decimal. So we have the problem 12 divided by 3, which is asking the question, how many 3's are in 12? And we know that there are 4 groups of 3 in 12. Something that you know. So we're going to work from that. We're going to move to another problem where we have a whole number divided by a decimal. And we want to use some information that you also know. And we're going to think about this as money. So we have $3 divided by 25 hundredths, or 3 whole dollars divided by quarters. So we can actually make a model of that. Our $3, each dollar is worth 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters. So what we want to know is how many quarters, or how many 25 hundredths are in 3, or in this case $3. So we have 4, 8, 12 quarters, 12 25 hundredths in $3, or 3 wholes. So our answer, our quotient, becomes 12. Our next problem is a decimal divided by a decimal. We have 25 hundredths divided by 5 hundredths. But we want to use something that we already know, which is money. 25 hundredths is another name for the coin of 1 quarter. 5 hundredths is a name for a nickel. So what we want to know is how many of these nickels are in a quarter. So we can see that there are 5 nickels equals 1 quarter. So we can say 25 hundredths divided by 5 hundredths is 5. This problem can be written in more than one way. You may see it written as we have it here at the top. The decimal divided by the decimal equals this whole number. You might also see it written as 25 hundredths divided by the quantity of 5 hundredths. And in this case, you're going to have a whole number quotient or answer of 5. You might also see this division problem written as a fraction. 25 hundredths divided by 5 hundredths. Mathematicians don't really like a decimal in their as a divisor or in the denominator, so they choose to make equivalent fractions. So 25 hundredths divided by 5 hundredths, we need to make this equivalent fraction so we can multiply the numerator by 100 and the denominator by 100, and we know that 100 over 100 is equivalent to the big number 1. And we also know that any number times 1 is itself. In this case, it's going to get us a new form. Multiplying by 100 moves the decimal point 2 places to the right. So we get 25 divided by 5, which gives us 5. This problem is a decimal divided by a decimal. 25 hundredths divided by 1/10. How many 1/10ths are in 25 hundredths? We can think about this as 1 quarter is 25 hundredths, and we want to know how many dimes or how many 100ths are in this quarter. We know that there are 2 dimes and 1 nickel is equivalent to 25 cents. So we know that there are 2 dimes and 1 nickel, and a nickel is half of a dime. So we would say that 25 hundredths divided by 1/10, or how many 1/10ths are in 25 hundredths, gives us 2 whole dimes and 1/2 of a dime, which has another name of a nickel. Okay. Now, mathematicians like to write a decimal division problem as a fraction. 25 hundredths divided by 1/10. But we would like to be working with whole numbers. So we're going to make equivalent fractions by multiplying the numerator by 100 and the denominator by 100. So that would look like this: 25 hundredths times 100 divided by 1/10 times 100. We know that makes, when you multiply by 100, you're moving the decimal point 2 places to the right. So we get 25 divided by 10. 25 divided by 10, make it rough, equals 2 tens, or 20, and 5 tenths left over. That can be renamed 2 and 1/2. So how many dimes, or 1/10ths, are in 25 hundredths? There are 2 dimes and 1/2 of a dime. Our last problem is a decimal divided by a decimal. 3/10ths divided by 25 hundredths. In money, 3/10ths is 3 dimes, and 25 hundredths is a quarter. So our question is, how many quarters are in 3 dimes? So we know that there's a quarter and 1 nickel. Those would be equivalent. So we need to look at that in terms of writing it as a division problem. So we have 3/10ths divided by 25 hundredths. Again, mathematicians would like to work with whole number divisors. So we're going to make equivalent fractions, and we're going to multiply this denominator by 100, and therefore we have to multiply the numerator by 100, which gives us 3/10ths times 100 divided by 25 hundredths times 100. When we carry out the multiplication, we're moving the decimal points. So we have 30 divided by 25, which equals 1 whole 25, and 5 out of 25 left over. We can rename that to 1 and 1/5. How many quarters are in 30 cents? 1 and 1/5, or 1 out of 5 nickels it takes to make a quarter.